It was Easter Sunday, a day of hope, a day of renewal, a day that was meant to celebrate life. Inside the Well Worship Center, Charlotte, North Carolina, people were praying, worshiping, listening to a message of faith and peace. And at the center of it all was Tammy McCollum, a woman described as kind, devoted, and deeply loved by everyone who knew her. A pastor, a mother, a wife of over 30 years, someone people trusted. But just hours later, everything changed. In the early hours of April 6th, 2026, inside her own home in Charlotte, North Carolina, Tammy McCollum was shot. No signs of forced entry, no robbery, no unknown suspect fleeing the scene. Because this wasn't a break-in, this wasn't random. The man who called 911 was already inside the house, and what he said next shocked everyone. He told dispatchers he had just shot his wife. That man was her husband, Eddie McCollum, a man she had spent 3 decades with, a relationship many people admired, a marriage that looked unshakable. So how does a story like this end in violence? How come a 30-year marriage turned into a crime scene? And what really happened in those final moments before that 911 call was made? Because the deeper you look into this case, the more unsettling it becomes. This isn't just about what happened that night, it's about what led up to it. The tension no one saw, the questions no one asked, and the truth that still hasn't been fully revealed. This is the real story behind the murder of Tammy McCollum. Tammy McCollum was 58 years old, a minister at the Well Worship Center in Statesville, North Carolina, and someone deeply loved by her community. Outside the church, she worked at Ulta Beauty in Charlotte. She wasn't just known, she was trusted, described as warm, selfless, and devoted, someone who showed up for others no matter what. Her daughter, Davelin, would later say she was as close to perfect as a human could be. And for decades, Tammy's life seemed to reflect exactly that. A strong faith, a stable home, a 30-year marriage that many people admired. But sometimes, the most peaceful-looking lives hide the deepest unseen fractures. It was early morning, just after 2 a.m. on April 6th, 2026. Only hours earlier, people had surrounded Tammy McCollum, celebrating Easter, of renewal, of life. But inside her home, in Charlotte, that message didn't last. Something changed. An argument started. Now, we don't know what caused it. Investigators have not released that detail. No warning signs were made public. No clear trigger. Just a moment that escalated, voices raised, tension rising, and then a shotgun. Gunshots echoed through the house. When it was over, Tammy McCollum was found suffering from fatal wounds inside the same home she had lived in for decades. And then, just moments later, a call was made to 911. The call came in the early hours of the morning. On the other end of the line was a man trying to explain what had just happened. That man was her husband, Eddie McCollum, 61 years old, married to Tammy for 3 decades. But at that moment, none of that mattered, because he didn't deny it. He didn't panic and hang up. He didn't try to run. Instead, he told the dispatcher the truth. He said he had shot his wife. When officers arrived at the home, there was no resistance, no confusion, no changing of the story. He confirmed it again. An argument, a shotgun, a moment that turned fatal. And then, after speaking with detectives, he asked for a lawyer. Just like that, 30-year marriage ended in a confession. Eddie McCollum wasn't a stranger to the community. He worked as a teaching assistant for exceptional children at Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. He was seen as calm, responsible, a husband, a father, a man of routine, by all outward appearances. This wasn't someone people expected to be involved in a violent crime. Even more shocking, family members say there were no known signs of domestic violence, no history of abuse, no public conflicts. Their daughter, Davelin, described their relationship as something people looked up to, which raises a difficult question. Was this truly an explosion of emotion, or something deeper that no one else ever saw? In February 2022, Tammy posted a message celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary. She called Eddie an amazing man of God. She spoke of love, gratitude, and a future she believed in. Looking forward to the next 100 years. But just 4 years later, that same relationship ended in tragedy. This is what makes the case so disturbing, because it challenges something many people believe, that long-term love equals safety, that stability means certainty. But the truth is, we never fully see what happens behind closed doors. Right now, the motive remains unknown. Police have confirmed the argument, but not its cause. And that leaves us with possibilities, not conclusions. Could it have been financial stress, personal conflict, emotional breakdown, or something that had been building quietly over time? Because in many cases like this, the final moment isn't where the story begins. It's where everything finally collapses. As of now, Eddie McCollum has been charged with first-degree murder. His bond is set at $1 million. He has been assigned a public defender, and the investigation is still ongoing. Meanwhile, the community is left grieving, searching for answers, and trying to understand how someone they loved was taken in a moment that still doesn't fully make sense. The murder of Tammy McCollum isn't just a crime story, it's a reminder. When that even the strongest looking lives, the happiest marriages, the most faithful people can carry struggles no one else can see, because from the outside, everything looked normal, stable, peaceful, even perfect. But behind closed doors, something was breaking. And the truth is, tragedy doesn't always come with warning signs. It doesn't always give you time to understand it. Sometimes it happens in a single moment, a moment that can never be taken back. And in cases like this, the hardest question isn't just, what happened? It's, why? If you want more real, in-depth, true crime stories like this, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. Because some stories aren't just meant to be told. They're meant to be understood. Every case leaves a shadow. Every mystery deserves a voice. This is Shadow Case Files.